I want to cheers to life, the fact that I still have my life. I want to cheers to love and all the people that I still have in my life that I love. I want to cheers to God giving me another day on this planet. And I want to cheers to hope for the future, because the future is going to be very bright for us, because enough is enough, okay? Salud. Okay, so today we'll be talking about the tragic, disgusting murder in cold blood of Ahmaud Arbery. So if you haven't heard about the Ahmaud Arbery situation, what rock are you living under? But basically with Ahmaud, he was jogging in a neighborhood and these white supremacists named Travis and Gregory McMichaels, a father-son duo, took it upon themselves to, instead of calling the cops, they were saying that they thought that he was burglarizing the neighborhood. It's allergies, don't do me. So instead of calling the cops like any normal person would do, they took it upon themselves to go and get their guns, their shotguns, and follow Ahmaud down the street in their cars. And now they also had a friend with them who, I forget his name, but I have pictures of him and I've heard information on him. So I will insert that right here while I'm talking. But it was basically them and their friend, and they conspired to kill this black man. It was premeditated murder. It was, because they went to go get their guns and they chased him down the street in their cars. They cornered him, and when he was cornered, he tried to fight back, and they ultimately shot him and killed him. Because he was jogging while black, because he was jogging in a neighborhood that they felt he didn't belong in. Basically, they said that he was stealing. Okay, wait. Okay, let me just insert the video and then we can get into it. All right, okay, let me insert it. What was he stealing, y'all? My question to you, what was Ahmaud stealing? Because I didn't see him have a sack. I didn't see him have a bag, a duffel bag, nothing. I saw him running. He was just running. But he's stealing? Like, how he catching licks with no knapsacks? How he catching licks with no bags? Riddle me this. So at this point, me recording this video at this point, it has been roughly 2-3 months since Ahmaud was murdered, and they have yet to make an arrest of these men. We know the men. Let's be clear. The internet knows these men. The internet has their faces plastered. If the internet can find out their birth certificate, their government name, where they live, who they're associated with, their old profession, because one of them was supposed to be an ex-cop. If the internet can do that, why can't the cops do that? Oh, because they're too busy using their resources on black people who are very undeserving of it? Right. Because cops don't use their resources on white people. They use their resources to condemn and put down black people. And that's just what they do. You can have evidence. Like, this is evidence, and they don't care. They're just like, oh, well, this is Georgia, so it's a citizen's arrest, so it's within the law. It's to the best of my motherfucking knowledge that a citizen's arrest isn't killing someone. It is arresting someone and bringing them to the police, or arresting someone and watching them until the police reach the premises, until the police get to the scene. That is what a citizen's arrest is. That does not give you the power to shoot someone unless they shoot at you first. Like, what are you talking about? That is not like, how can you come up with a law and you don't even know your own motherfucking law? Shut your dumb ass up. Like, this is the shit that I don't motherfucking like. And this is why we say that the rules are against black people. Because let a black person try to do a citizen's arrest like that against a white person. Do you really think that they'd be free for 2 months? They would have been rotting in jail. They probably they wouldn't have even had a trial. They would have been like, it's on video. You see him doing it, it's on video. Lock that Negro up. And that's exactly what the fuck they would have did. But because it's a black man and it's Georgia, and Georgia has fucked up laws that they don't even know the rules to themselves, they're walking around free as a bird. But they need to be in jail. They need to be in jail. And now the internet is in an uproar. But to the internet, I say to you, when is this gonna be enough? Because us going to the internet is cool and fine, and social media has given black people a voice. I love that social media shows that what black people have been saying for hundreds of years is not a lie. We're not making shit up. We're not making everything about race. You're making everything about race. If everything was not about race, why is race on our driver's licenses? Why is race on our college applications? Why is it on our job applications? Why do we have to fill out our race when we do the census? Like, everything is already about race. And black people are trying to tell you that everything is already about race. But no one believes black people until social media came along. And now it's like, oh, maybe they were telling the truth. And for that, I do love social media. I do. But at the same time, social media isn't enough. Like, it's really not enough. Like, we've all been bringing things to light in social media. We've been talking about issues, and that's great. But we're not coming up with solutions, guys. We're just starting a conversation about black men being killed by cops, black people being targeted by these racist white supremacists, being killed in the streets, and having the cops conspire with them to save their necks. We have brought light to it. But now we have to think of solutions to those problems, because they're not just gonna go away because we keep talking about it. We need to be more vocal outside of social media. We need to come together in groups, and we need action. We need action. Like, I love me some Martin Luther King, but that whole "we shall overcome" linking arms and shit, those days are over. Those days are over. We've already tried to do that for several decades, and we see where that's gotten us. We've seen where being docile and boycotting has got us. We've seen this. Like, even now, we try to boycott stuff, and then y'all don't even stick to the boycotts. What the fuck happened to us boycotting Gucci for blackface? Where's that energy? Like, we don't even stick to that. So I say, fuck the boycotts. I say, stop with that. You want action? Go to the government. March on Wall Street. March on the White House. March in front of the Congress building. Like, we need to start doing stuff that's more proactive. When I say docile Negro, I do mean like in Martin Luther King. Just like what Malcolm X said. He said, Martin has his way of doing things, I have my way of doing things. Malcolm wasn't about the silent, quiet boycotts. He wasn't for the sit-ins. He wasn't for letting these white folks come out with their dogs and bite us in the ass and spray us with water hoses and still singing linked up in arms talking about "we shall overcome." He wasn't for that. And me, I'm not for that. I don't think we should be doing that. Because has it worked for us? Like, even nowadays, they promote to us that we should be more like Martin Luther King. But look what the fuck they did to Martin Luther King. He was a pacifist and he got shot in the face. Like, come on. Like, come on. They want us to be the docile Negro, but they don't even like the docile Negro. Because as soon as you get out of your place, they want to put you back into it and let you know that if there are any other black people who try to get out of it, this is what's going to happen to them if they don't stay in their place. Okay? So I'm not with that energy anymore. I'm not saying we need to go out and be violent towards people. Definitely not. Don't go around shooting up white supremacists and stuff because of what they've done to Ahmaud. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is we need to stop taking shit laying down. We need to stop taking shit and then just running to Twitter and then never mentioning it a few fucking months later. We need to hold people to task. Black people, we can't forget. We must hold people to task and tell them to keep that same energy. Period. You want something to change? Call the government in Georgia, the local government. I forget the city. I'm going to link it down below. I'm going to put it in the video, whatever the fuck. We need to blow that police department's phone up. We need to let them know there needs to be justice. Okay? We need to do that anytime something happens like this. Let places like Baltimore, Indianapolis, Chicago, Detroit, let them motherfucking know enough is enough. Don't let them rest. They won't let us rest. We won't let them rest. That's what needs to happen. Be vocal, but be vocal outside of just Twitter, outside of just Instagram. Because it's cool to post something and make it seem like you're down with the cause, but you're not changing anything. You're not bringing about any change. Sorry, I had to change my shirt. I thought that it was really reflective and distracting, so I just, sorry, my bad. But yes, we need to start taking action. Okay, we need to start petitioning. We need to start, if these white folks can go up to a government building and protest with AK-47s, why can't we? Why can't we? I mean, hey, I know a lot of people are like, well, we're black and it'll be different. They'll treat us different if we do that. But that's the point. That's the point, to show that there is a difference in the way that we are treated. If we go out somewhere and we have AK-47s, we are shunned, we are thugs. But if they go somewhere with AK-47s, they're exercising their Second Amendment right? No. If we want to go out with our firearms talking about the injustice of black people, we reserve the right to do that. Are we harming anyone? Are we shooting anyone? No, we're not. That's the point. That is the point. I understand the fear of change. I understand the fear of revolutionizing. But everything in this country has been revolutionized. The beginning of this country was a revolution from English rule. There was a revolution for the abolition of slavery. There was a revolution for so many things in this country that are the way that they are because we came together as a people, stood up and said, enough is enough. We are forgetting that this is America. This is a democracy. And even if the government has you in your mind, has you thinking that you have no say for whatever reason, we are the people. They work for us. They are our employees. Without our taxes, they can't do shit. Why do you think they come knocking your door down when you don't pay taxes? Because they don't get a paycheck. Because they're our government servants. They work for us, okay? So if we want to change, God damn it, we can get a change. We're the ones putting money in your pocket so you can pay for these frivolous wars that you have going on. But you can't put more money and resources towards finding out who the killers are of an unarmed black man and putting them in jail. But you want to use those same resources to kill innocent black people, to redline black people, to stop and frisk black people, to undermine, neglect, and disrespect people of color in this country to keep your detention centers for indigenous Latino people open. You can do that shit, but you can't do this. You can't find his killers and bring justice for this young man who's paying you taxes. That's what I'm saying. Don't let the government have you thinking that we have no say. Without us, there would be no government. Sorry, not sorry. Do not let the government have you thinking that they are the ones who have the biggest say-so. If we want to push for confidential information to be unclassified, we could do that if we had the numbers. We could get equal pay. We could get change in this country if there's enough of us that are outraged and have a problem. We, the people. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to have a revolution overnight. I'm not saying it's happening today. I'm not saying it's happening tomorrow. But I'm saying it's going to happen. Because we have a lot of grievances. We have a lot of things that need to be rectified, that need to be acknowledged, and it seems like those things are being ignored by the people that are currently in office. And I'm not just talking about Donald Trump and the executive branch. I'm talking about Congress. I'm talking about Supreme Court. I'm talking about state leaders. I'm talking about local government. A lot of them are not for the people. They are for lobbyists. They are for putting money over the people that are being affected by these policies that they're putting in place. That's what I'm talking about. Wow, this is the system that we live in, guys. But that's why I say we need to hold people accountable. We need to blow up people's pages, and we need to tell them, you need to push this story. You need to mention this. Have you heard about this? We're gonna go and pick it outside the White House. We're gonna go and we're going to make our voices heard outside of social media. Because right now, it's not working. Just being on Twitter, talking about being a social justice warrior. If you're really a warrior, that means you're about that action. Okay? If you're really a warrior, that means you're ready to lay your life down for the change that you and your people in the next generation need. If you're about that action. But yes, we need to bring justice for him. We need to bring justice not for just Ahmaud, but for every single black man in the future that this could happen to. How many more Ahmauds do we need? How many more Emmett Tills do we need? How many more? You see, and this is the problem too, because I was going to say Amber Geiger, but you don't even know the man's name that she shot necessarily, because they made that whole thing about Amber Geiger. She went into this man's home and shot him in his home, talking about, I thought he was stealing. This motherfucker was on the goddamn couch eating ice cream. Who steals from someone and they're like, yo, we about to catch this lick, but let me get some of that Neapolitan dough. Let me get some of this chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. And they gonna sit down, put the shit in a bowl, and then turn on Breaking Bad and just eat some ice cream in the house that they're licking? That don't make no sense. Like, this doesn't make sense. She only got 10 years from a black judge. The black family forgave her and hugged her. The judge hugged her, which to me shows a bias. So that already should have showed that they should have put a new judge on the case, because that judge was biased. But that's the type of shit that I'm talking about. Even when it's about us, it's about them. It's about them, because I didn't even think of this young man's name first. I thought of Amber Geiger's name first, because it was about her. It was the Amber Geiger show, even though she wasn't the one who got murdered. And that's what I'm talking about. Hey, so I wanted to come on here and update you guys a bit, because I initially recorded this video a week ago, so all the information isn't up to date. So I just wanted to let you know that they finally arrested the two men that shot Ahmaud, and they're in jail with no bail. All right. So that's going on, and they're supposed to be starting a trial. Also, the friend that recorded them is trying to completely distance himself from this entire situation. He said, well, I had nothing to do with it. I was just recording. I heard something from my house. I heard commotion, so I went outside. I didn't have a part in it. So we're going to see how this plays out, because homeboy's really trying to back out of this entire situation like he had nothing to do with it. We will see what the justice system does. Do I think he had something to do with it? I mean, he was just sitting pretty. He was sitting real pretty, not panicking. Like, if he was completely in shock, wouldn't he have been like, oh my God, I can't believe that they're doing this to this man. This is racist. How dare they? Like, wouldn't he have been a bit more outraged in the video? My boy was pretty nonchalant in that video. But I digress. So that's basically what's going on. What else? Oh, they're also on like their 4th DA for a trial that hasn't even started, because as we all know, Gregory McMichaels is tied to law enforcement in Georgia. He's tied to the government in Georgia. Like, the first 2 DAs that they put on the case had to recuse themselves because they have ties to the McMichaels. And then there was another one that they appointed, and he's like, I don't want no parts in this bullshit. And he just left for shits and giggles. He said, I want nothing to do with this corrupt case. And that's exactly what this case is going to be. It's going to be corrupt. I will give you my opinion. I don't think there will be justice for Ahmaud, just because of the games that they're playing with the DOJ in Georgia. It took them 2 months to even arrest these men. They keep appointing DAs that know these men. I really don't think that we're going to get justice for Ahmaud. I will fight tooth and nail until the end of this trial to seek justice, but I don't think that we are going to get justice. And that's just me being real. Like, the circumstances around this trial, and it hasn't even started yet, only time will tell. But I wanted to update you guys on that. All right. Because it's just sad that this is what the world has come to. Not even come to. Fuck the come to. This is what the world is. This is what the world has been and will continue to be until we put our feet down. And we can say that we've already put our foot down. No, we haven't. No, the fuck we haven't. Like I said, you better look up Malcolm X. That's putting your foot down. That's saying enough is enough. I am an American and I'm going to exercise my rights. You got a problem with me exercising my rights? Too fucking bad, because I am an American. Period. May Ahmaud rest in peace. He did not deserve this at all. He was trying to just jog and live his life. He was just trying to better himself. Like, jogging. Like, I don't jog. What the fuck? What the fuck? And now, after hearing this shit, I don't think I'll ever jog ever. Like, I mean, granted, you probably weren't gonna get me to jog any motherfucking ways. But still. Sad that Black people can't even leave their houses without thinking that this is the type of bullshit that could happen to them, or to their son, or to even their nieces and nephews and daughters and uncles, aunties. It's sad that Black people have to worry about their family members like this. Because, you know, white people don't have to worry about their family members like this. Your white family member doesn't leave the house and you're like, wow, that's probably the last time I might see them. Oh, hopefully a cop doesn't pull them over at the wrong place in the wrong time. You know, you don't have to sit them down and give them a talk. You have to sit your children down and be like, you have to be like, yes, sir. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Always be polite. You don't have to do that with your children. And you know you don't have to do that with your children. And it's just sad that in 2020, with all this new liberal blue state bullshit going on, we're still dealing with this even in liberal states. It's terrible. But that's all that I have to say on this. Please leave a comment if you'd like. I encourage that. Definitely. Engage me in a rhetoric, you know. That's what I like. That's what I do. If you agree, disagree, it's fine. Just Be active. Make your voice heard. That's what we're about on this channel. You feel me? Make your voice heard. All right. Bye, guys.